cut me off, so I'm going to continue this story, this video, whatever you want to call it. Finish telling you about it, and I'll call this part 2. So you're saying it publicly, so it wouldn't be your deepest, darkest thought. So they want to say, well, how could you just say something publicly? We do it all the time. We say stuff all the time. It's not what you're really feeling. How many times do people say, how you doing? I'm fine. And then you're not fine. It's that people do that. But that's why this whole cloning thing was fraud. The whole AI is fraud. It's supposed to be them thinking what I'm thinking, but that's fraud because they don't know what I'm thinking. I could say, oh man, today's a great day. They can't decipher that sarcasm. They can't decipher between sarcasm and what I'm really feeling or thinking. So if I'm out saying something publicly and I just said that, then they would take it and put it in this system. And then they would try to make me feel shame or guilt around saying it. Well, why? What is the purpose? So I'm going to say the purpose. And this is my point. The purpose is to manipulate people. So they keep now throwing out other religious leaders. But there's a difference between a religious leader who wants you to feel and know the truth. And when I say feel the truth, meaning somebody who, when you feel something, not just think it, feel it, you have a definition of truth and you learn to trust yourself. That's a good religious leader. Somebody who opens your eyes out. Opens your eyes. That's a good religious leader. The people who close your eyes are not the good religious leaders. So, and they said, oh my God, yeah, because it's beginning to make sense to them. They're beginning to feel it. So I did a video years ago now where I talked about, do you have gut instinct or do you think it? I think you think it because we have chemicals in our brains that connect to our fight or flight instincts. So our brains control those chemicals. And if they're doing things to make me feel that I have to always fight or I have to always flee, then they're controlling my brain, which is a dangerous thing. So the fact that some people feel like, well, I have a gut instinct, but your brain is what controls the fight or flight. So you could have a gut instinct, but if your brain is telling you fight or flight all the time, then this is what happens. You're always in that fighting mode. You're always fleeing something. So controlling that is huge. But also, if someone's using this technology to talk to you and make you feel your gut is telling you something that it isn't, that's also huge. So just going back to putting it all together, because I want to keep this kind of short because I'm not getting a lot of views. I think they took me off YouTube, and I hope law enforcement's watching this because it's so important to get law enforcement to understand what's happening to people. So if law enforcement can understand what we're going through, they can they have the means, the tools, they have more knowledge of these things than we do. And I don't care what you think about law enforcement. They have to know what's really happening to people because that's how laws get changed. We had law enforcement doing the wrong thing throughout history, but we were able to change laws so that we could get people to do the right thing. Are they doing the right thing? I don't know. But we need to have law enforcement know that this is happening to people. Laws have to be changed. We have to elect people who know this is happening to people who can help us change the law. We have to expose this. Everything has to work. When one thing doesn't work, then everything falls apart. So we need law enforcement to know this is happening to people. People are making people like me think I have to fight. I have to flee. I have to run. They're making me hear things that now we know other people can hear it. But if you think you're the only one hearing this and you don't even record it to prove that this is happening to you, then you are a victim. You're a victim anyway, but you're definitely a victim because then they've convinced you that you have no other choice in life. And that's what I'm saying. It's about choices. Oh, it took me this long, I did a video that they cut off, but it took me this long to get to that. It's about having choices. And they want to take our choices away. So tying it all together, it's about having a choice. If someone uses religion to manipulate you, come up with a voice of God technology that will have you do the wrong thing, then try to blackmail you with that. That is a big deal. If you have religious leaders who are opening your eyes and telling you the truth, even when it's hard to hear their damn truth, that's a good religious leader. And that's part of what they don't want. They don't want the good religious leaders who will say, listen, people are using this to manipulate you. God won't tell you to do the wrong thing. Look at the Bible. Read the Bible. Anyone can read the Bible. It's there and it's everywhere. Pretty much you can get your hands on a Bible. Using love, using something very tempting to suck you down into doing the wrong thing. That's a honeypot. That's a bad thing. Nobody calls something a honeypot if it's a good thing. Oh, this is a honeypot. No, that's a bad thing. A regular human being not wanting you to see regular people like me. I'm trying to point to myself. I don't know if I'm pointing. Anyway, regular people say crazy things sometimes. We do crazy things, but it's not a crime. But we have choices. We have opinions. It's okay to have an opinion. They said the word fealty, meaning extreme loyalty. We don't want that. I don't want anybody who's extremely loyal to me who won't say to me, hey, that's not a good idea. That's who you want in your life. That's not a honeypot. A honeypot is like, honey. No. Hey, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. That's a good thing. Okay. And so then the last thing is confessions. If they want to put me on camera and have me to confess to things that aren't crimes, that are just regular people stuff, I'm good with it. I'm good with it because this is regular people stuff. And I want you to hear how regular people speak and how I speak. Why? Because if they're mind controlling you or brainwashing you or have you listen to this voice of God thing where they're judging you and making you feel like being a regular person is wrong, then that's a crime. It's a crime. So what we need to do is expose it. We need to get people who know that this is happening and how it works, get them to help us change this so this will never happen to anyone again, let alone children. When they're talking